Wow. The only way of discovering the limits possible is to venture a little way past them into the impossible. That was said by Arthur C. Clarke. Welcome to Motivational Monday Live with me, your host, The Prince. And today we have a very interesting program. It's a special program, and we are having a guest joining us any moment from now, all the way from California City. I believe that you are going to enjoy the program today. It's going to inspire you, it's going to motivate you, it's going to challenge you. And the topic we are dealing with today says, when the world says no. What do you do when the world says no? What do you do when problems and challenges comes your way and tries to stop you from your dream, try to stop you from moving forward, tries to stop you from possessing your possession? What do you do when the world says no? That's the topic we are dealing with today. And I want you to invite your friends from all over, wherever they are. Tell them the program is on already. Let them come online and let them join us as we are going to listen to somebody that I call the limitations eliminator. That's the name they call her. The limitations eliminator. That's what they call her. So she's going to help us today to on how we are going to remove the limits that are facing us. And you see, I want you to know that every person have their limits. Every person. There is no person in this world that will say, "Oh, I have no limits, I have no challenges." There's no person that doesn't have excuse to fail or excuse not to move forward. No person. Every person, everybody have their challenges, have their limits, have their issues, have one thing or the other that it's standing against them, working against them, and making them not to possess their possession or not to be what they are supposed to be. But as we listen to this great speaker today, she's going to tell us how she has been able to overcome some of the challenges in her life, how she has been able to eliminate the limitations that have tried to stop her. I want to speak to you today that whatever the limitation is that you are facing, it will come from different direction, from different dimensions, from different ways, but you've got to overcome it, and you can overcome it. Other people have overcome their own limitations. You too can overcome your limitations. Life without limitations, it's not going to be exciting. It's not going to be adventurous. It's not going to be, filled with insight, because sometimes the challenges that we face gives us insights. It makes us to see the beauty of life. It makes us to see the possibility that are all around us. So if you don't face a challenge, your life is just going to be like dry, like empty, like one way, one-sided. But challenges comes to make life inspiring. Challenges comes to make life, tough. And that's why I was listening to one of the speaker the other day, and he said the process is sometimes more important than the prize or the goal that you achieve at the end of the day. That process, it makes you stronger. That process, it makes you, to discover yourself, to know yourself, to know what you are capable of, to know what you can achieve, to make you to know what you can achieve or what you can be able to get. So that process, the limitation, brings about the process. The limitation brings about the struggle. The limitation brings about, the challenges that you go through. And as you are in that process of trying to overcome it, trying to break that barrier, you are learning, you are growing, you are developing, and you are building yourself. And you see, it prepares you for tomorrow. It prepares you to be a better person. It prepares you to, know what you can achieve. It prepares you to pull down strongholds. And that's why you see, when there are some people that, there are some rich men, for example, that they can lose everything today. If they lose everything today, give them 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, they are going to get back everything that they lost. Yeah, why? Because they went through the process, they went through challenges, and that gave them an experience. And with that experience, they can be able to do that thing over and over and over and over again, even in different dimensions, in different ways. Okay, but by the time somebody has not gone through the process, when somebody has not gone through the challenges, by the time he has to, face that crisis again, he can't be able to face it. And that's why you see those that are poor and they win the lottery, or they get money, or they get money from a raise, or from a game, or from one lottery or the other. The money don't last. 1 year later, they are broke. 6 months later, they are broke. 2 years later, they are broke. It's always in the news. Before you know it, they get broke. Why? Because they got the money through lottery. They didn't go through the experience. They didn't labor for it. They didn't suffer for it. They didn't go through the process. And at the end of the day, they are not able to manage what they get. So you see, somebody who has gone through the process is different from somebody who has not gone through the process. And that's why I want to use this opportunity to speak to our youths. Many of our youths, even though they are in primary school, they are in high school or secondary school, and some of them are even in the university, and they are saying, well, I want to get millions, I want to get billions. What are you going to do when you get the billions? And that's why you see that many of them, they get it and it doesn't last. Before you know it, they have wasted it, they have squandered it, they have used it for partying, they've spent it partying. And that's why somebody can go to a club, a nightclub, and then he spends hundreds of thousands just to buy a wine or a drink. Why? Because he has it and he didn't go through any process to get it. He won it like a lottery. He won it like, I don't know how to put it so that I don't offend some persons. But that's what happens to such people. And that's why, as a father, as a mother, don't encourage your children to go after quick wealth that comes, suddenly, that comes without any prize, without any process. No, don't encourage your children to go after those wealth. Encourage your children to labor. Let your children know that there is dignity in labor. There is joy in labor. There is pride in labor. When one labors and achieves result, that result becomes meaningful because it will be lasting result. It will be more permanent, But by the time he doesn't labor for it and he gets it on a platter of gold, he can easily lose it. And that's why you see that many rich parents, after they die, their children sell off their properties. Yeah, their children sell off their properties. Somebody was telling me the story of a man, a Nigerian man in the UK, who his father was very rich and had a lot of money, and his father had a lot of buildings in Nigeria. And that guy went to a club, and in that club, guess what he was doing? He was using the properties of his father to bet in the club. He was using the properties of his father. And when they defeated him in the bet, he gave up the properties of his father. Can you imagine that? Just imagine how that father will be turning in the grave. Properties that the fathers experienced, went through experience to get, went through so much suffering to get, went through so much pain to get. But at the end of the day, the son or the daughter is wasting it away, is selling it away, he's using it to play bets, he's using it to drink in the UK. That's what happens when somebody doesn't go through the process. So encourage your children that going through the process has more benefit than not going through the process. Quick wealth, it's sweet but disastrous. It's enjoyable but it's destructive. Quick wealth, you get it without stress, but at the end of the day, it cannot last. At the end of the day, there is no guarantee. But somebody who has gone through the process has a guarantee that if this fails, he can be able to go through another thing. He can be able to face another way and get something and be what he's supposed to be. So we are talking about when the world says no. That's the topic for today. Please, I want to beg you to give me a little permission, just 1 minute. Let me speak to our guest and let me find out why she's not here. Okay, I'm waiting for my guest. I don't know why she's not able to come in. So that is the message that I have to share with you today in the program. I will have to end the show and then start it again because for the guests to be able to come in, I have to end the show and start it again. So please stay connected. We are going to be back in few minutes. Just give me some few minutes. We are going to begin the program again, but I have to end this show and start it again. Thank you so much for those that are watching. God bless you.